As you may know, history is such an important part of the world. Well, so how did that begin? Well, in approximately 4004 BC, God created the heavens and the earth. About 500 years later, the wheel was invented. Now, this invention was very pivotal for the rest of history. It allowed for many materials to be transported all across the world, including bronze. And then that's how the Bronze Age began in 3300 BC. After bronze tools became more prominent, the Sumerians started to write and develop cuneiform in 3100 BC. This was one of the first writing forms, and it also evolved into Egyptian hieroglyphics in 2900 BC. Later, the cubit was defined in Sumeria as writing and measurement became more important in the world. This was in 2650 BC. This measurement would go on to be one of the most, as noted previously, the cubit was one of the most important measurements in history. The cubit was used specifically during biblical times and was also the unit of measurement that God used for Noah to build the ark. Noah's ark eventually helped him escape the flood, and him, his family members, and two of every species of all of the animals on the earth boarded the ark for about 150 days in 2348 BC. After this, people started to disperse as more people were reproduced. After the people began to disperse, people like Hammurabi emerged in Babylon. Hammurabi ruled well and created a code that was used. The Minoans then created a syllabic script in 1700 to 1650 BC. This was likely one of the first syllabic scripts ever. Later, the Olmec civilization flourished in Mexico. After civilizations like the Olmec began to succeed, the Iron Age began in 1200 BC. This age introduced a whole new set of tools and weapons, just with iron instead of bronze like before. This iron went on to help construction for future civilizations in history. After bronze expanded as a material, Rome was founded in 753 BC. After this period, culture began to grow in Rome from 750 to 725 BC. After culture in Rome began to grow, it was spread everywhere around Europe. Alexander the Great was then born. This gave him the advantage to conquer Egypt and enter Jerusalem in 332 BC as he grew up to become a great military leader. His entering of Jerusalem allowed for Jesus Christ to be born later in Bethlehem in 4 BC. Afterwards, after Christ was crucified, Nero started to persecute Christians in 64 AD. Even though Christians were persecuted by Nero in 64 AD, churches and Christianity still grew. Churches were established in 100 to 200 AD as Christians started to fight against their persecution and turn to Christ. We still see this today. It's unfortunate that persecution of Christians, even though started in 64 AD, is still seen today. Afterwards, Diocletian came to power in 285 AD. Later, the Edict of Milan was signed in 313 AD, allowing for more freedom for Christians. After the rise of Christianity due to the Edict of Milan in 313 AD, the Western Roman Empire fell, also due to military reasons, economic reasons, and political conflicts. Years before the Western Roman Empire fell, countries like Saudi Arabia felt its influence. After its fall, Muhammad was born, and a lot of people were thrown into Muslim armies. In 632 AD, Muhammad died. At this point, Islam was starting to become a more prominent religion. The Battle of Tours occurred in 732 AD, which was a battle against France and the Muslims. The Battle of Tours prevented Islamic advances into Western Europe. This allowed for Alfred the Great to become the king of the Anglo-Saxons in 886 AD. Later, because of his influence, the Kingdom of England became unified in 927 AD. In order to finish what was started in the Battle of Tours, the English knights got involved in the First Crusade to assist in battle in 1095 AD. Later, the Second Crusade began in 1144 AD. Afterwards, in 1915 AD, the Magna Carta was signed. This limited monarchy and gave more freedom and rights. After King Edward III was denied his throne in France, likely due to the Magna Carta, the 100 Years' War began in 1337 AD. Afterwards, reform was needed and interest in concrete was reignited. After interest in concrete was reignited, architecture and art became important in the Renaissance period from 1500 to 1600 AD. Afterwards, this evolved into the scientific revolution as more scientific discoveries such as space, anatomy, and more were discovered in 1600 to 1700 AD. Later, the Industrial Revolution began in 18th century AD. After the population grew during the Industrial Revolution, Adolf Hitler was born in Austria in 1889. His works in Germany and his strict rule led to World War II occurring from 1939 to 1945. As weapons started to develop and strategies of war grew after World War II, the 9/11 terrorist attack in 2011 on the two Twin Towers in New York City occurred. Well, folks, that's all for World History in 7 minutes. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.